You are now tuned into Flippin' the Birds, a Philly Sports Network podcast.
I think I did it right.
Yeah, you could tell by the intro we already missed Brian.
Yeah. So for those of you just turned in, obviously the mastermind, and I hate calling him a mastermind because it doesn't give him credit. But the guy who does all of that stuff flawlessly, is not here, obviously. So just you bear with us. It happens. So hello, good evening, Eagles fans. It's me, Chris, and that's Morgan. Now this is our first show together, just me and you. As those of you that don't remember, even though it happened a few weeks ago, Morgan filled in for me before becoming a full-time Flipping the Birds douchebag.
Yeah.
Now there's three of us. But now Brian is down in Texas, having fun at Cowboy Stadium. He's in the what's the word I'm looking for? He's not allowed there, but he's still going to be there. So, so hopefully he just pisses on the logo and does us all solid. But yeah. So today, since training camp's a week away, and it's all these storylines, and then that we can go into that next week. But with Loki being done. And Marvel's What If coming in a few weeks. You didn't watch it, see?
I gotta watch it. I know.
It's such a phenomenal show. It's such a phenomenal show. And it really, because I love Daredevil. Absolutely love Daredevil. And Loki passed Daredevil for me. It's just, especially with that last episode, it won. But now with the multiverse is here, and What If, the Marvel show, What If is coming in a few weeks. There's this 20-year-old going around Twitter, posting stats and all this stuff like I used to do. I get it. I understand. But the one that really grinded my gears was the whole narrative. If Alshon catches that pass against the Saints, they repeat as Super Bowl champions. So, and I said, no, absolutely not. That's not even, it wasn't even a first down catch. And then I got people just down my throat. So, we asked you guys at home, what's your scenarios? We'll start with that one. So we'll go off with you, Morgan. Your thoughts and all that good stuff.
Well, I remember watching that and thinking. I mean, I don't blame him for thinking that way, right? Because I remember the momentum was carrying. We're driving down their throats. I don't know. The magic of last year was still in the air, and so at the moment, I was thinking, okay, Alshon catches this. It's 4th and 5?
It was it would have been 3rd and 6.
Yeah. Okay. And I just remember thinking if we're driving it down, we're gonna score. I remember that. And then looking back, I don't know. I know what you're saying. I feel like I don't know. I like to believe that if he catches that, it would have been a touchdown. And just the way that we play McVay under Peterson, I think we could have beaten the Rams, but I don't know. I see where you're coming from. But I just the fan of me won't let me believe that wasn't a sure thing. We were going. I knew it in my heart we were going. But
my thing is, he would have been tackled on the spot. He would have. People were saying, "Oh, he was running away from the linebacker." No, he wasn't. And I'm going to play the clip in a minute. So we can relive pain together. But even if he catches that pass, at worst, 3rd and 6. I would say at best, because I don't think he's going to go on it. But at worst, 3rd and 6. If somehow he shoulders his way to another yard or two, whatever. But you don't need a field goal. You need a touchdown. You're down by 6. And at that point, it would have been 1:52 left on the clock if they called a timeout right there, which they probably would have. Probably maybe more towards 150. So if you call a time, not timeout. Sorry, it would have been the 2-minute warning because they rushed the play before the 2-minute warning. So it would have been the 2-minute warning around 150 to 152. So you get another play, you use a timeout, then you're out of timeouts with 1.5 minutes left, probably. Are you really scoring. And if you are, you're scoring with a pretty decent amount of time for Drew Brees to drive down the field and just need a field goal.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of stuff there, but regardless, you and everybody else who's tried to argue me has said driving down their throats and momentum and all this other stuff. To me, momentum is play after play after play and actually doing stuff.
Mhm.
The Eagles that drive, Foles, after he had an incompletion to Golden Tate, who, by the way, the last two players to wear number 19 were terrible, J. Jaw and Golden Tate. But so Golden Tate doesn't catch the pass. At that point in the second half, Nick Foles is 5 for like 19 in the second half with an interception. It's not really rolling to me. But anyways, so he throws okay, you know what? Hold on a minute. Let me just do this.
See, I'm thinking in my head, if it's anything but an interception on that play, I feel pretty good about the fourth down.
So here it is. Okay, so the Saints, they missed a field goal. Okay, all right. We're gonna watch the whole
the whole drive. All right, perfect.
The whole drive.
Just the highlights.
This is
no
just the highlights.
Copyright intended, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah. This is on YouTube, so whatever.
Perfect. We're good.
All right, so okay. I mean, that's another thing. If Will Lutz is actually Will Lutz, the game's over. But whatever.
Yep.
See, he had the distance. It's just.
I mean, we get lucky with opposing field goals. Let's just put that out there. We have some fortunate misses and some bounces.
So you know when I'm on Jay Fizzles. You know what's going to happen when I'm on. All right. So.
On and running the show.
All right. So starting at the 42.
Mm-hmm.
See, okay, so here's the thing: driving down the throats. You're starting at the 42, so you're not really driving down. No, what momentum? You're starting with pretty good field position anyway. All right, whatever. Okay. Yep. Really great momentum there.
I'm saying all it counts is third and fourth down.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying. Like he looked like Carson Wentz on that pass. Look at this. Look at that. 8 for 19 for 58 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
He comes alive, man. And this is the thing. That's the thing about momentum. I see what you're saying about momentum, but also momentum can swing at any time.
I get it. But you kind of have to build it, right? You kind of have to build it. Momentum just doesn't happen. Like it's not.
We'll keep watching. There's some momentum building. We're gonna
momentum.
see it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I didn't think we'd be doing film study today. This
is it. There's not much else going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, well, besides Steven Nelson tweeting that and then deactivating his whole Twitter, but
yeah, weird move.
Look at this.
2nd and 10, needing the first down.
Okay. I will give it to
you.
There we
go.
That's a pretty good start to a momentum building. Okay, all right. Okay, I'll give it to him.
Big catch by Ertz. What if Boston Scott gets 15 touches?
Okay.
I mean, he's wide open.
I missed that Zach Ertz, but anyways. So all right.
Well, this was that year too. Zach Ertz was. I'm sad for him that he didn't get invited to that like tight end camp, but maybe he did.
No, Zach Ertz was there.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah, he was there.
They just didn't mention it.
So here we go. So Marcus Davenport, this is really like borderline for me. Like I get it. Big V fucking pushed him into Foles, but I get it. I completely get it. Arm goes to the head, and that's a call every time.
And this was that year where they put that in. They were really looking for it.
Whatever. I mean, that's a call every time.
That's called.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like penalties like that don't build momentum for me. Like it's not like How is that a momentum build there?
Do you know what it is though? It's momentum against the Saints, right? You
Okay,
can't have plays
all
like
right,
that
so-
if you're trying to close out.
Okay,
Right.
well, I guess it's a morale,
Mm-hmm.
deflator.
Mhm.
But that call is made every time, except if you're the Eagles and you're Miles Sanders and you get your face mask pulled.
Yeah. Oh my
And
god.
that doesn't matter. But whatever. Okay. All right. So now,
That play still makes my heart.
Yeah,
That
that's-
watching this twist. Oh my goodness.
all right. So, and then you're here. The play call on this one, like this is a stupid play call. This is an absolutely stupid play call. It's classic Doug Peterson here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, yeah. Let's just use Sproles there. That's
I think he's trying to wind down the clock to some extent.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're trying to wind down the clock to 2-minute warning, why not go to the 2-minute warning?
Yeah.
Like,
It's weird.
like if they just went to the 2-minute warning,
Because then you're
you
rushing.
get some time to go over what you're doing, and then this happens.
I mean,
Okay, look
Decent play design.
look right here.
yep.
He would have been tackled on the spot. I don't care what anybody says. He would have been tackled on the spot. All right, let me.
Also, as far as I can tell, Golden Tate's wide open, but
Let's move that over a little bit.
I feel bad for Alshon, man. I don't think his career was the same after that play.
Oh, hold on. Come on.
You can double tap the side of the video to go back like 10 seconds. I think.
Okay, YouTube master.
I know I can do it on my phone.
I know, yeah. I know we can do it on the phone. I don't know if you can do it on the computer.
Mhm.
All right, so look. Okay, so right through his hands.
Right.
Again,
Yeah.
right here, he would have been. If he catches that ball, he is done right there. So this whole narrative thing, and people are saying like, "Oh, he had to come back to the ball." No, he didn't. He was going to the ball.
Yep.
So
Not a bad throw.
That was not a bad throw at all. It was a little sidearm for me, but that's not a bad throw at all. And Alshon just let it go through his hands. But like
So I think-
Anzalone's right there.
I think what I mean, I feel like I'm just
There it is,
defending
yeah.
this side because I'm on the other side of the screen. But I think what it is that this, like, even if he catches that ball, it's not guaranteed that we're winning. In my heart, I'd say, we're going to the ship and we're bringing it home
Right.
again. But
Yeah, the homers in us, the fans in us want to see, that would have kept that momentum going and they would have gone through. But the thing is, okay, so let's say he catches that and they miraculously win that game. Now you're going against a Rams team.
oh, I think we're beating the Rams. Hands down, I think we're beating the Rams. Peterson's
you don't have Fletcher Cox.
Mhm.
And you don't have Brandon Brooks.
I would see, and now we're getting to something that I've always had a thing with is the year that McVay won Coach of the Year over Peterson. I feel like Peterson took it personally. Every single time the Eagles play the Rams, we just outwork them, outplay them, outsmart them. And so I love playing Sean McVay because the Eagles just are inside his head.
But the thing is, the Rams team were rolling. They were rolling that year, and you're missing two of your best linemen on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're missing the guy has to block Aaron Donald.
Yeah,
and you're missing Fletcher Cox, who could have really done stuff to that offensive line of the Rams. But if you're missing your best D lineman on the team,
mm-hmm.
and if you are, this was the 2018 season, correct? Yeah, because it was 2019 playoffs. So if you are down Fletcher Cox, hold on, let me get to there. So they lost. Okay. So if you're down Fletcher Cox, you are shifting who to defensive tackle. You got Haloti Ngata.
You're playing a lot of Michael Bennett inside. They're doing that
Right,
race car
yeah.
pace a lot in the
Right.
playoffs.
So, and they're all pretty much undersized for that position.
It's true.
So are you really getting pressure on Goff?
I'm telling you today, I take Doug Peterson on the Eagles against Sean McVay every day, even if he's coming back. Like even if they just like do a celebrity shot in beer pong, where he's just like, come back and coach a game against Sean McVay. I'm taking it 100 times out of 100.
Shot.
I don't care inside his head. Like I don't know what it is. Similar, I think we might talk about this later, but similar, we got this comment talking about the Seahawks game the next year. And similar how the Seahawks just seem to have the Eagles calling card. Like we just can't seem. I mean, we usually have our worst games, but even if we had a good game, we seem to struggle.
For me, that's a different story for me. I know I want to say I've been all on no momentum and all this stuff, but that Seattle game, I am sure they would have won.
We would have won. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In my head, I want to think that too.
Like with that. You finally have a quarterback because in my mind, and it should be in almost everybody's mind, Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Nick Foles. When you have a guy like Carson Wentz on a roll like he was with the guys that he was throwing to, which were not much better than me and you, I think that's a much different team than the first Seattle game when they got clobbered. And then going into that Seattle game, I think they had all the momentum in the world, and they would have won that game. And then Clowney, decided to do that. But here, like momentum going to a game, they had momentum going into the game. That's why they were up 14-0 against the Saints. Right. Mm-hmm. But then 20 straight points later, that momentum's gone. Mm-hmm. It's a different scenario for me. So I don't think the Eagles win the Super Bowl that year with Wentz and Clowney, but I do think they would have had a shot. I think they win that game and they would have had a decent chance the week after because Djax would have been back for that game. So I think it would. I forget who they were supposed to play, but that would have been a pretty good game. But this if Alshon catches it, there was just way too many things to happen after that for me to say, they would have won everything because you still need to face off against a Rams team. Like I said, without one of your best offensive linemen, with one of your best defensive linemen, and you're facing a running back in Todd Gurley who was an All-Pro that year.
I would say I still think they beat the Rams. I don't know they beat the Patriots. I don't think you beat Tom Brady twice in a row in 2 years. Like they'll find a way.
The Tom Brady they would have faced in that Super Bowl would have been the mega Tom Brady of any Tom Brady's because there's no way Tom Brady was losing to the same team two times in a row.
No, and not Nick Foles again. That's for sure.
No
way.
No shot.
But okay, so then let's take another step. Okay, so let's say they win that game, they beat the Rams, they lose to the Patriots. What do you think then we even have the discussion about Carson Wentz, or is it just Nick Foles now?
That's what leads to the rest of what's going on. Like that's this timeline now where we're branching off. Mm-hmm. So Wentz shows that he can get you, or I'm sorry, Foles shows that he can get you to there. I think Wentz is done after that. I think they pick Foles there. Yeah, I think it's really hard for you to say as a coach and a GM. But we spent this number 2 pick on Wentz, great, but we just saw our backup quarterback take us to the Super Bowl 2 times in a row and almost win back-to-back Super Bowls. How can you justify to a fan base that was already anti-Wentz a lot because, the Foles brought them to the playoffs again? How can you justify to a fan base, we're going to send this quarterback off who's took us to 2 straight Super Bowls for the guy who's been hurt the last 2 years? I think that would have been the end of Wentz.
They definitely don't let him walk. Foles is on the roster the next year.
Yeah, Foles is on the roster. 100. I think he's the starter, and I think Wentz is gone. And I think Wentz probably, at that point, see the thing, like, that's tough because he was still coming off injury. So who knows what he would have gotten compensation-wise for the Eagles. Mm-hmm. Probably a lot of more future stuff than current stuff. But so if that's coming off the 2018 season, 2019 season, he's probably fetching you – second maybe in the 2019 draft, and in the 2021.
So it depends on the contract too, right? Because they
because that was before the contract. That was
Mhm.
Yes, that was before his contract. So you're trading someone on a rookie deal, so it's probably more lucrative
Mhm.
for other teams. So maybe you do get a pretty decent haul. But yeah, Nick Foles is the starter going into that year, and they're probably using a pretty high draft pick in the 2019 draft on a quarterback. And if you look at the 2019 draft,
yeah, I'm bringing it up too. I should be more prepared with this stuff. This used to be second nature. I used to know all this stuff, but
yeah, so you got Kyler Murray was the
yeah.
first
Well, the
pick.
Eagles picked like pretty late, so you got
They picked the Dillard. You're probably not picking Dillard.
You're looking at like a Drew Lock. I mean, maybe you trade up. Maybe you get like a Josh Allen. That would have been crazy.
Oh,
yeah. But yeah,
like does a Foles win there? Like, does a Foles win lead to the Eagles having Josh Allen? Because Josh Allen was late, wasn't he? He was pretty late.
7. Not that late.
Oh no, he was 7th. No, I'm thinking of the other Josh Allen. No, Josh Allen was in 2017, 2019.
2019 NFL draft.
You're thinking of the
2018.
quarterback. He was 2018. So that's a year later. So these quarterbacks are Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins, Drew Lock.
I think Drew Lock.
Will Greer, Ryan Finley, Jared Stidham.
Not a very strong quarterback draft.
They picked Clayton Thorson. So does the Eagles keeping Nick Foles lead to Clayton Thorson being on the roster, thus not having Liam make a freaking song over Clayton Thorson? Like that's
right.
If Nick Foles wins that game,
we're not doing a podcast.
No, we're not doing a podcast. Right? Like if Nick Foles wins that game, Liam probably does not have a Clayton Thorson song.
Is this podcast based on Jeffrey dropping that pass? Like, is that what we conclude? We can't come to that conclusion right now.
I think that's what we're concluding right now.
All right. Hey, I'll take it.
We are here because of the events that have unfolded since Jeffrey dropped that pass.
Shit, damn.
See, this is the multiverse. But yeah, so it's just a domino effect, and like one of the bigger domino effects before that was if Wentz doesn't tear his ACL against the Rams. Now, do the Eagles win the Super Bowl still? Like, there's another thing that's a lot to happen. He was fucking rolling. He was absolutely rolling. He would have been MVP.
Yeah, and I'm a big I'll still be a Carson fan even if he doesn't do that well in Indy this year. But like to all those that aren't, and to all those that are doubters, like I just tell them to put on that tape because the highlights of that season, I say rival any quarterback highlight reel I've ever seen. Like there might be a couple that are up there, but like put on that tape of that season and tell me there's many highlight reels that are better. I don't think you can find them. So if you put that guy, I think they blow out Atlanta. I don't think that's close. I mean, they blew out Minnesota anyways. So, but I don't think.
Like for me, so when Wentz went down, they went 2. After that, they went 2-1. I mean, Foles finished the Rams game, whatever. But
the Raiders,
the Raiders game was awful, but they still won it.
Yeah,
they still won it. So if Wentz doesn't go down, obviously he's not starting in that Cowboys game still. But do they win that game? And does it? I don't think that would have changed anything schedule wise. Like if the Falcons, if they play the Falcons or not, because the Falcons still would have had to play them. They beat the Rams previously. I don't remember what the playoff thing was, but I think again, we're assuming that if we go back in time and Wentz doesn't tear his ACL, the Falcons still beat the Rams, and then so let's assume it. I think they still blow out Atlanta because earlier it was close because Foles stunk.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they blow out Atlanta. I don't know that they blow out Minnesota the same way.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Yeah, as soon as Patrick Robertson got the interception, I was like, this game's over. Like I just
See
knew
that
it.
that was momentum.
Yeah.
The Marshawn Lattimore interception off of Jeffrey, that was momentum. That was
Can I distill something? Right, I saw a thing on Twitter today that said that game was more iconic than the Super Bowl, and I just want to say hogwash, bro, because like that Super Bowl was the best Super Bowl.
nothing unless the
Of,
Eagles win another Super Bowl. No
okay,
game will
yeah,
ever beat that Super Bowl.
not in Eagles history, that's for sure.
No,
But
no way.
even the comeback, I'd say like the comeback, the Patriots comeback against Atlanta, maybe a better Super Bowl. But like that one in recent memory, and especially in the last decade, one of the best Super Bowls of all time. I love to beat the brakes off Minnesota, but like that wasn't a good game. Let's be honest. That was a good game for us, but not a good football. Yeah,
Like there, it was pretty much defense. I mean, I know Foles was pretty good there. I mean, he went 26 for 33 with 352. Obviously, box score watching they put up a lot of points because Foles.
That one pass to Torrey Smith, that one was crazy.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
But it was but that defense was playing lights out. Like you're facing a guy in Case Keenum who obviously it's just Case Keenum and he sucks. But that year he was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And you're facing an offense with Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, really good receivers, and you're stopping them.
Yeah,
like I think that was the game that I knew they were winning the Super Bowl, no matter who was facing them, because they were able to stop that offense. Now, 2 weeks later, it was a different story. Giving up yard after yard after yard against the Patriots, and Foles was out of his mind that game. But I am not confident enough to say Wentz beats the Vikings, and if he does, he beats the Patriots. I'm not confident about that.
Yeah, I think they beat the Vikings. I don't know they beat the Patriots. But
I just think Carson Wentz is the quarterback that Bill Belichick is just used to playing, and he's used to beating. Like Nick Foles, something about Nick Foles is just like, I mean, maybe because he's not that mobile. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're better suited to beating mobile quarterbacks like Wentz. But like Foles, he was just slinging it, and the Patriots couldn't stop him. But but the thing is, like, so was Wentz all season. Wentz was just throwing bombs after bomb after bomb, and then he just went away. But I don't. The fan in me wants to say they still win the Super Bowl once, just because of everything that was leading up to it. He would win MVP, but how many times does an MVP win the Super Bowl?
Well, and if that happened, we're not looking at Jalen Hurts right now.
No, we're not.
Wentz is getting at least a couple more years. He's the Super Bowl winner. Very different franchise. I think too. Then you go back and like who knows if the next season would have been the same. But like let's say he doesn't get hurt that season too.
Yeah.
Then
do we even have the Alshon drop?
Right.
Like, it's like I think if they don't, because now you're looking at, because I know so let's say he still gets hurt, blah 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 blah. No. We'll say he doesn't get hurt, and they don't win the Super Bowl. So you're looking at 2018, and he's starting the season. Like, is Foles even a backup still? Because he was contemplating retirement before even joining the Eagles. So does 1 year as a backup say, okay, now he's done? Because Foles got his contract because of what he did in the playoffs 2 years in a row. Yeah, so he's not going to get that contract. Maybe he gets another year as backup. But now you're looking at, Wentz return against the Colts. Okay, you're looking at the first two games, Falcons and Tampa Bay, that Foles played in. Maybe they win those two games.
I think so.
But you're looking at the games that he was. I think he left. When did he leave? Was he lose the Saints game? I'm looking right now.
I want to say Chiefs.
No,
but
he played against the Saints and he got destroyed. He maybe let's see, Giants. No, he played against the Giants too. So he played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think his last game was against the Cowboys, I think. Yeah. So his last game was against the Cowboys, and then
been hurt since like the Giants game too, right? So
yeah. So Nick Foles' first start after Wentz came back was against the Rams, and he won all 3 of those games.
Mhm.
But if you're having a full season of Wentz, a full healthy season of Wentz, are they looking at a 9-7 season? Or are they looking at better? Because a fully healthy Wentz is probably beating those Vikings. Like he faced the Vikings again. He's probably beating those Vikings. He's probably beating those Titans. He's probably beating the Panthers. Like he's probably still losing to the Cowboys once. They lost to the Cowboys twice. You're probably taking one of those games with a healthy Wentz. Maybe
one of them
you're
was
still.
OT.
What?
I still remember that OT too.
Yeah.
That OT game.
Well, that was the Rasul Douglas game.
Oh yeah. And Amari Cooper.
Yeah. And then you're probably still losing to the Saints, but probably not as bad as you did. So you're looking maybe at 10-6. Are you still facing the Bears?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. You're probably facing a better team. You're probably facing a better team.
Well, I think the biggest change that happens though is you saw like Howie's mindset like switch. Like after that, it was like I'm having good backup quarterbacks on my team forever, right? And we got like, okay, we're gonna be a quarterback factory. We got all this change about like developing quarterbacks, and like if Carson's your guy, and it's okay, then like I feel like if Carson wins the Super Bowl or he gets you to the playoffs, he gets deep in the playoffs 2 times in a row, then there's a lot of blame actually shifted off of some of the coaching staff. Like one, I think that a lot of it was like, okay, Doug, like you need to get him back to where he was. But if that's a guy that took you to the playoffs 2 times in a row, one, maybe he doesn't see the same regression. But then two, I feel like you're putting a lot more onus onto like the player himself. And maybe it happens the opposite way. Maybe it's like, okay, Doug, you're out of here. But like, I don't know. Like it seems like when you have a superstar quarterback, you put a lot more of like stuff on him and be like, okay, well, is he a superstar? Is he not? And if he is, it's his fault. Whereas like a lot of this was pushed to Doug. So maybe it happens the other way. But like, I think that like maybe, I don't know. I think we're
it's weird because like so many dominoes would have fallen. Like again, like you said, Jalen Hurts is not picked. Like if Wentz shows 2 years in a row that he's the guy, like it just needs to take this next step. Maybe they really invest in a wide receiver position. Maybe they have CeeDee Lamb instead of Jalen Reagor. Maybe but those picks still, that's like if they're winning more, those picks are a little later. So we're saying Wentz doesn't win the Super Bowl. So it's not the 32nd pick. They probably don't have Dallas Goedert then because they traded that pick to the Ravens for Lamar Jackson. So they don't have Dallas Goedert probably, and they're picking in the late 20s. So you're looking at. I gotta go back to the draft. So we're looking at 2017 draft. No, 2018 draft. And you're looking at, let's see. Okay, so Lamar Jackson is 32. So let's say they lose to Minnesota. You're picking third. Okay. Minnesota picked Mike Hughes at that point.
You might just take Hughes with the way the cornerbacks were looking.
If that's the thing. Like you're probably looking at corner there, because you just got beaten by Case Keenum. So you probably need someone to, and you got beat by Stefon Diggs and Adam Thielen. You're looking at, okay, Darby's on his way out soon. Who's on the other side of him? We probably, even though they just drafted Sidney Jones, you're probably looking for that number one guy, and you're probably looking at Mike Hughes. Maybe a
lot of good running backs in that draft.
Right.
So I mean, Nick Chubb.
Do you see? Oh my God! Imagine getting Nick Chubb.
That would have been amazing.
Or do you? I mean, you saw
Ronald Jones.
Just a lot of people get hurt that year.
True.
So do you look at players to go into those positions that got hurt, like a linebacker? I mean, you're not drafting a linebacker in the first round, but Darius Leonard's right there. So there's a lot of other, like, but you probably do not have Dallas Jones, like Dallas Jones, Dallas Goddard. So like it's.
Man, it reminds me how young Kerryon Johnson is that he was in this draft class too.
Yeah.
Like that. I'm really excited about that pick. I'm digressing, but I'm really excited.
I know, I am too. I said today, for as much, and let me go to this comment. For as much shit as I got as I gave that post today, if Boston Scott is RB4, that gives me strong vibes of the 2017 running back rotation, where for a while I saw when we were talking about we need complementary backs to Miles Sanders. We need a guy who can punch it up the middle. We need that wrecking ball. But really, Miles Sanders is that wrecking ball. To me, he's a more athletic LeGarrette Blount, because Miles Sanders got a lot of his yards last year and the year before since he's been drafted up the middle. He's been plowing through, and like up the middle, he's been. I think his yards per carry is like 6 or 7. A lot of that is because of those long runs that he's had.
Yeah.
And so they're skewed a little bit, but all those long runs are from up the middle. Like it's not going out to the outside and making someone miss on the outside and then going. It's pounding it down the middle, the line doing its job, and then he's just going. He's making someone miss up the middle. So it's really, to me, Miles Sanders is that more athletic Blount. You're looking at
and I'm dating myself, but and so like this might be not a great comparison, but to me, I remember watching Curtis Martin on the Jets.
Oh yeah.
He's like, it gives me similar vibes to that. And that's where like another guy that can break tackles if you need him to, but really just like one cut and go kind of guy. So it gives me a lot of those.
It's all up the middle. Like just get the ball, cut, and go. That's it. Yeah. And then you're looking at Gainwell and Johnson. Gainwell to me is that Corey Clement 2017 type of back where he can rush it. He'll get some runs up the middle. He'll get some passes, and like that'll be the guy. Then you got Kerryon Johnson, who could be your Jay type back. Like he can do a little bit of everything too, but he can spell. If he's on his game, if he reaches what he's supposed to be reaching, he can spell Sanders for a little bit and be that feature guy, and Gainwell can still back him up. And then Boston Scott can be the special teams guy, a la Kenji Partner in 2017. So you're looking at our 4 running back rotation where Boston Scott's not really seeing much time, but he's seeing important work on special teams and all that. Right. But because that's really what he should be doing, he should not be getting many carries at all. Like there's really no point. Like the guy they should use him like Darren Sproles. Darren Sproles got way too many carries. And it's just, and how many times did we look at the TV and scream, why are you handing it off to Darren Sproles? So that Boston Scott is just that guy that we love him. He kills the Giants. Great. But against everybody else, he's bad. So just keep him on special teams.
What I'm hoping we see more of this year, and something I even brought up last year I was hoping to see more of, is 2 back sets. We have running backs that are so versatile, can run. And like they talk about Kenny Gainwell lining up in the slot and being as good of a slot receiver as they had in Memphis, right? And you have all these guys that can play different positions, and then you only line them up in the backfield and only have them run swings and only have them, get draws on 3rd down and 10 and long. Like it doesn't make much sense. Whereas, I mean, as good as you think Boston Scott is or isn't, the defense is going to respect what he brings to the table. I mean, he's not a huge name, but he is one of those players that has such a particular skill set where teams do have to understand what might happen when he's on the field. You put him in the backfield with, and this is what I was hoping with that would happen with Corey Clement, because I mean, if you've read my articles or you know anything about me, I'm a huge Corey Clement fan, what he brings to the table, more so than I probably should be. But one of the things that he does do is a bit of everything. And then you have him be like, in the last couple of years, he was just like a downhill runner. Like that's not really what he was. It's what he was in Wisconsin. I get that. But like he came to the NFL, has the, most receiving yards for your team, and then we don't hear from him again. And so what I'm hoping is Boston Scott. It's like you can use what you have when we play the Giants. That's what it is. It's like Miles Sanders isn't there, so no one's respecting the run. So you're using draw plays. You're using weird counters. You're using inside outside zones, and so he's really good at that. So if they want to move and they want to switch, like they should use him for that. But put two backfields or two running backs in the backfield and make them choose. Are you going to get the inside zone from Miles Sanders? Are you going to get a screen from Boston Scott? Put Kerryon Johnson in there. Put Kenny Gainwell. Put him out in the slot. Like I just hope that there's a bit more creativity with how you use these guys. Because then you're right. You can manufacture touches. He shouldn't be getting 15 handoffs.
No,
he shouldn't be getting that. But I'm fine with him catching the ball out of the backfield. I'm fine with him getting one or two.
Yeah, like with 21 personnel and I don't know, with 2 running backs on the field. Like if Sanders is out there and Scott's out in the slot, or you're having 2 running backs in the backfield and all that, and Scott is in motion, fine. But if he's back there by himself, it's not happening for me. But yeah, like I think you will see a lot more creativity with this offense. Sirianni, it seems like he's pretty creative with what he does, and if you just look at what he's done with his running backs on the Colts, you can kind of see what they're gonna go. That's why, like, I know we're moving off of the whole what if stuff for a minute. Like I see Miles Sanders' rankings on fantasy lists and all that stuff, especially PPR, and I think people are severely underrating him for her PPR right now. Where Sirianni, in January, his whole thing was creating mismatches. So he talked about 12 personnel and how 12 personnel can create mismatches, and the running backs create mismatches. He talks about running backs getting covered by linebackers. So that's a mismatch right there. So if he's bringing that to the Eagles, and you have a really good receiving back in Miles Sanders, then like he's going to be a great PPR option. But yeah, that's okay. Anyways, so we have, I guess, 2 more scenarios really. We're not gonna go back
real quick. Jay Fizzle thinks we're disrespecting Howard. There's no disrespect to Howard. I don't know that he makes his team. Just based on the talent we have. I don't think you bring in Kerryon Johnson only to cut him for Howard. And Brian's got a scenario where it's him instead of Boston Scott. And I don't think.
Jay Fizzle, do you know that Jordan Howard's about to retire before the Eagles even called him? Did you know that? Because he was open about it. He said he thought his career was over before the Eagles came calling. He's done. Like the fact that he was great for us. I loved him the first time.
I was super excited when we picked him.
The first time around, he was great. And then his knee injury that just never healed. And then he went to a Dolphins team that he was the touchdown vulture. Like at one point he had more touchdowns than he did yards, I think. It was weird. And then he came back and he was bad. I think the Eagles have too many running backs who do what he do, and they do it better than Jordan Howard does.
I could see him going to a team that like eats up running backs like Seattle, where Chris Carson's gonna get hurt eventually. You need a guy that can pound the rock. Similar, they had Carlos Hyde, like a role like that, where like you have a guy. I just on the Eagles, where does he fit? Like maybe if Kerryon gets hurt, you can bring him in, and like God forbid Kerryon gets hurt. But I just think Kerryon gives you so much more than Jordan Howard does.
I think for what the Eagles need right now, and what Sirianni wants in his running back, I don't think Jordan Howard fits that. All right, so we're not gonna do any of the '80s stuff. We don't have time for that. But quickly, we'll go back a few more years. What if? Because we know when the Eagles were doing the interview process after Andy Reid got fired, they were looking at Hugh Jackson, they were looking at Adam Gase, they were looking at Bun McAdoo, they were looking at Gus Bradley, and they were looking at out of nowhere Chip Kelly. So let's say, because we know the Giants came in and swooped on Ben McAdoo. They heard Ben McAdoo was about to go to the Eagles and interview. They said, "Here's a contract to be our coach," and we said, "Thank you very much." Oh, actually, was Ben McAdoo No, Ben McAdoo wasn't that year. He was Doug Peterson year. I think Adam Gase. I think I'm crossing timelines here. But, okay. Anyways, It was Chip Kelly versus Gus Bradley, and I was fully on the Gus Bradley bus. I was on the Gus bus for a long time because I was like, you know what? We had how many years of offense? Let's get a defensive-minded coach. I'm done with it. And then they hired Chip Kelly. So what if they never hired Chip Kelly and they go with Gus Bradley? Like, that's a big domino. Like, that is a huge domino because we know Chip Kelly let go of Deshaun Jackson, let go of LaShawn McCoy for Kiko Alonso. Like, they got drafted Josh Huff because of, under Oregon and all that stuff. So if we look at the draft, do we think they still pick Lane Johnson at 4? Because that was Chip's first draft.
Well, I think it's you're really gonna see difference later in the draft. Like, I think that Lane Johnson was the pick there, and I'm glad we picked him. This is what, 2014?
Yeah. So no, 2013. So now, second round, it's Zach Ertz at 35. Right after.
Like, see, this is a great draft. Like, that's the thing is, like, again, I mean, Gus Bradley is what he is. Like, that, I'd take him over Chip Kelly, but I was not unenthusiastic about the Chip Kelly signing. Like, I thought that was a good move, to be honest. Like, I liked it, and then I remember they came out.
I was pumped about Chip Kelly. I was absolutely pumped.
They came out in preseason with Sam Bradford, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then he hit that wheel route to Darren Sproles, I think it was, in the preseason. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, like, I see
that was like,
yeah, I was like, all right, this might work, and I got hyped. But I think that one thing that may not have happened is, kind of Howie Roseman being exiled, right? That's like
Howie would have been.
Is that better for us? Like, judging from the drafts in the past, is it better for us that he's drafting for us? I don't know. We got some good picks from that first draft.
That first draft, but with Gus Bradley, a defensive-minded head coach, second round, it's Zach Ertz at 35. At 36, it's Darius Slay. So do the Eagles draft Darius Slay over Zach Ertz because Gus Bradley's saying, I need a corner, I need that number one guy. So do they get that? Do they get Darius Slay instead? I mean, the next defensive players that were drafted were Manti Te'o. They were Tank Carradine. So not really big names. Jonathan Banks, Kawan Short, Kiko Alonso, Kevin Minter. So really not, great names. So maybe they go defense there. And then, the thing is, this draft probably wouldn't have been the end of Howie because it was so many great names. So, the next guy was Betty Logan. Do they still go Benny? Because, again, defensive-minded head coach. But after that, you have Tyrann Mathieu. You got Keenan Allen a little later. So maybe since they didn't go off in second round, do they go Keenan Allen? It's because the next tight end was Jordan Reed. Do they take Jordan Reed if they were going tight end?
Again, there's so many variables, but I think that the thing you gotta consider is that is our last really solid draft. If you think about it. Now I'm gonna go to 2014 because I know the history didn't really continue. But I think the main difference that we're looking at is not necessarily who the coach is, but the difference is that Howie Roseman wasn't making these picks. And I think that Chip, he dismantled the team. But the one thing, similar to the Browns, where they just had those dreadful years over and over and over again, is we came out of it with a better perspective of what we wanted. We want to go back to Andy Reid. We want to go back to that. And so I think that if we got Gus Bradley, we don't win a Super Bowl.
Oh, I don't think so either. Chip Kelly to the Super Bowl.
We should have given that man a ring. The smoothies, bring back the smoothies. We had no injuries.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No injuries.
Bring Chip Kelly to be the head of sports science or whatever then he wants to be.
Yeah, honestly.
But with Gus Bradley, I think we stay. I don't think we're bad. I think we stay average for a while because
we maybe don't take Marcus Smith and convert him.
Yeah, that's great. That would be great. See, that would have been great. Because you're kind of looking at an offense now where Because if you look at the 2014 Eagles, they had
Can we also talk about the move to make your offensive line coach your defensive coordinator? Like what was that? I don't like who's like yeah, that sounds good. That's a good idea.
well the thing is, now, yeah. Well, Gus Bradley probably has his own defense. Like he's probably his own, so he's bringing his own guys. But so you're looking at a 2014 offense that he's not jettisoning Deshaun Jackson. So you have a young Nick Foles, you have LaShawn McCoy, you have Deshaun Jackson again, you have Jeremy Maclin, Jordan Matthews.
True.
Is that? Well, Jordan Matthews 2014 draft, he was a rookie. So you're looking at the. Let me go to the 2013 Eagles. Hold on.
The thing, I mean, it would make a huge difference whoever our OC is with Gus, because he, as far as I understand, Brent Selleck.
Actually, no. If they cut Deshaun Jackson before the 2014 season, so you have Deshaun Jackson. Are you even drafting Jordan Matthews? Maybe not. If you're keeping Deshaun Jackson.
I remember that pick, and I remember them saying like how much of a scheme fit that was. Like that's not a guy who you take there if it's not for the scheme.
Yeah.
So I don't think you know Jordan Matthews.
And Duck has a good point. Like you have Nick Foles for that long because you're not trading Nick Foles for Sam Bradford.
Mm-hmm.
So and all those picks. So and then you're not having Sam Bradford to send to the Vikings for their pick.
But then you're getting a quarterback probably in 2014.
Yeah, that's. I don't think that's a good draft.
No, Teddy Bridgewater probably your best bet.
So you're looking at because 2014, the first quarterback was Blake Bortles. Then you're looking at Johnny Manziel. You look at Teddy Bridgewater. You're looking at Derek Carr, maybe. You are looking at what was the next QB after that? Ooh. Logan Thomas, who's now a tight end. Tom Savage.
The next year's not better.
And Aaron Murray, who's not even in the league anymore. Zach Mettenberger, not in the year. David Fales. Keith Twenning, whoever that is. So you're not looking at great options there. But so are you in a full?
It would be ironic if they didn't go quarterback that year and then still had Gus Bradley. And then because of how bad they're doing, we were in the second pick and got Marcus Mariota. Because I remember that hype. Yeah. It was under Chip was like, we're getting Marcus.
All of those rumors of Fletcher Cox being traded to the Titans for Marcus Mariota and all that. But thinking of this, I forgot Fletcher Cox could have been on the team. So imagine the Eagles having Fletcher Cox, a young Fletcher Cox, and if Gus Bradley decided to draft Darius Slay, you had those two guys on your defense for many years. I mean, I'm sure at some point one of the other would have been gone because of contracts and all that, but. That would have been, but you're probably looking at a team that's pretty much average for a few years, like probably picking in the teens, probably making the playoffs once or twice, but you're not looking at a Super Bowl win, and you're not looking at Carson Wentz, and you're not looking at what we have now. You know, you're not looking at a lot of stuff. But to finish off. The big one that we got and we're just talking 2000s. We're not going to go to the 80s and Randall Cunningham because we don't have time.
I prepared for the Randall Cunningham. I thought it was coming, so
we'll have it for another time. We'll have a full 80s pod.
Yeah, the conclusion of that one is I may have not have been born. That's the conclusion.
You probably would have. What if Donovan McNabb doesn't puke in the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
And B, he and T.O. actually got along. Like, do we have a T.O. in the driveway situation, or do we have a happy T.O.? And how long could they stay together?
See, I think T.O. is T.O. Like, I mean, even after that, he went to Dallas, and that was tumultuous as well, right? Like, I don't know that like one Super Bowl makes that man happy. I think that he's just going to be who he is. But I think it does a lot for Donovan McNabb's legacy. Like that right there. Like I mean, I don't know. Again, like this is a bit before my time. Like I was young. I was 10, right? So, I watch, I pay attention, but what I do know is how kind of black and white the love and hate is for Donovan McNabb in the city of Philadelphia, right? But with a Super Bowl, with a ring, that changes a lot of things.
We have 4 rings with McNabb and TL. Really?
Does he stick around? I don't know.
That's the thing. Like he had a season. Well, he broke his ankle, obviously, so he only played 14 games. But he was still a first-team All-Pro with in that year. So if he plays a full season in 2005, he was averaging 109 yards per game. His highest of his career. Like his highest of the career before that was 103.6 in 2000. He was averaging 109 yards per game and only a 51% catch rate. So he was being targeted like crazy. He was just, he was targeted 92 times in 7 games, and he caught 47 of them. 92 times in 7 games.
Football
like
is different back then.
That is unreal. That 92, that's 13 targets a game.
Yeah.
And he only got 47 receptions. So he was averaging. On the team.
James Thrash. That's what I want to know.
That was
NFL Street throwback. I always use that, man.
So the thing is, he only played 7 games that year, and he led the team in receiving yards still. So the next wide receiver was Reggie Brown. Then you have Greg Lewis.
Yeah.
The next receiving was L.J. Smith, and then Brian Westbrook. But you have a team
underrated running back.
Yeah. But if you have a TO for a full season, I think that team it's really good. Like they went 6-10 that year, but again, you have a full season of Terrell Owens and a healthy on the money Donovan McNabb. Okay.
It's tough, man.
No, it's not. He's not. He's an Eagles Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall 100%. Of Famer. On what grounds is Brian Westbrook a Hall of Famer? Like, why?
With the Super Bowl? That changes a lot. That's what I'm saying. One ring changes so much in that.
But still, like LaShawn McCoy right now. Okay, let's talk about LaShawn McCoy. He has 2 rings. Both of them while he was on the bench. But he's getting up there in yards for rushing yards, and he has 2 rings. But I don't. It's hard for a running back to get to the. I'll second a statement. It's a different running back, but I think that Darren Sproles is a borderline Hall of Famer. I think Darren Sproles is a much better Hall of Fame case than Brian Westbrook.
See, and that's I think that Jay Fizzle just said that he's top 3 in all-purpose yards. Fair enough. Well, what's Darren Sproles?
Darren, no, I'm gonna get that right now. I don't think he is. Like I think Jay Fizzle is just talking out of his ass again. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. All right. All-purpose yards. Jay Fizzle, do you want to put money on this? Because I could give you my Venmo right now. All-purpose yards. All right. Number 1, Jerry Rice. Number 2, Brian Mitchell. Number 3, Walter Payton. Okay, so there's top 3. So you're wrong right there, Jay Fizzle. You're wrong right there. Then Emmitt Smith. Then Frank Gore. Then Frank Gore. Then Darren Sproles.
Darren Sproles.
Number 6.
Above
19,696 yards. All-purpose yards. Want to know what Brian Westbrook is? Let's see. I'm scrolling. Hold on. Now you know what I'm gonna do to do this faster? I'm gonna find his name. Oh no! He's not even on the first page.
Oh man, so many throwbacks. Warwick Dunn. Oh my goodness.
He's not even on the first page. Hold on, Westbrook. Okay, there he is, Brian Westbrook, 116th.
Shit. I like EJ Fizzle, but geez, that one's tough.
He's behind Clinton Portis. He's
Oh,
behind
brother.
Jamal Charles. He's behind Calvin Johnson, who played a lot less years than him.
Mhm.
Actually, not many years. He played 8 years, just like Brian Westbrook. He's on the list. Yeah, he's on the second page. He's behind Musin Muhammad. Remember that name, Musin Muhammad? That's a throwback. Keenan McCardell. He's behind Keenan McCardell.
Behind Deshaun Jackson, behind
He's-
Marshawn Lynch.
He's only 19 yards ahead of Chad Johnson and Priest Holmes. Like,
Oh, Priest Holmes. Damn, bro. Some of these throwbacks are just like, I don't know. I just get all giddy.
yeah. So, yeah, Brian Westbrook, Hall of Famer. Okay. Yeah.
But Darren Sproles, legitimate, man. I think
I think Darren Sproles being number 6 in all-purpose yards.
Mhm.
I wish he was healthy. Like, if he was
Two
healthy,
Super Bowls. He's got
What?
2 Super Bowls.
he's got
Darren
one.
Sproles. He was on the
One.
Saints when they won.
Because the Saints won what, 2009? No, he was on San Diego.
Oh, right.
He didn't come to New Orleans
That's
until
when the year
2011. So he has one. But he missed the whole season because he had a broken ankle. He played in 3 games in the Super Bowl season because of his broken forearm. 6 games in 2018, six games in 2019. If he played all of those games, he'd have over 20,000 all-purpose yards. He'd be in 5th place.
I mean, Frank's still
He has
going.
one.
So
He has one ring. One ring. I mean, you're already wrong once, Jay Fizzle. How about you want to be wrong again? Like, it's, But, yeah, so that's it. I mean, we went through all of our timelines. Next week, I believe next week we are rolling out the Twitch next week. I think we're trying Twitch out for you guys
All right.
next week. Maybe
I think we got a couple of things to mention. I think we're doing Brian's job here because he's not here to do it. But one, I think we're supposed to tell people to watch this on PSN Radio. We're promoting.
look below.
Look
Subscribe
below.
to PSN Radio.
Look at that, perfect. And then 2, we're looking at starting
A mailbag, right?
a mailbag. So if you guys got questions, concerns, even just like hot topic debates, stuff like this, like what if, yeah, we're looking at doing that. Probably start Thursday. I think we're gonna start in August. Chris is a busy man, so he'll I'm sure be in and out, but probably not with us most of the time. But if you got a question specifically for Chris, we'll make sure to ask him and pass along his answers.
I will voice tweet it.
Yeah,
I'll send it
perfect,
on the voice tweet.
perfect. So, yeah.
But so do that and cater to Brian's wishes and get those mailbags to stuff in because that's all Brian. He's being annoying. He just wants all this stuff done, and we're just here just to be the faces of Flipping the Birds, and Brian's just here to be the bald head of Flipping the Birds. Like, look at us with hair and nice beards, and Brian's just bald.
I'm not taking that off right now, but
You do. I need a haircut, actually. I'm getting all my grays out. They're showing out. But
you do the nice thing. See, I got the widow's peak kind of starting, and it's just like it's not pretty. I gotta grow it out, do the middle part and shit.
Well, first, my dog wants to say hi and goodbye to everybody. Also, just so everybody's aware, I'm a summer camp director, and this week we have ducklings. So,
is it a rule that you guys gotta have small dogs? Is that a rule?
Well, my dog's 30 pounds, but she looks like she's bigger.
Shoot.
Yeah, my little ducks. This is I call this Carson Wentz's 4th interception because it was a duck that he threw.
Just a little duck. The other ones are bigger.
Yeah, the other ones are bigger. But anyways, So for Flipping Birds, I'm Chris Infante. That's Morgan. What? I don't even know your last name.
Burkett.
Burkett. Yes, I do know your last name. That's Morgan Burkett. We are Flipping the Birds without Brian. which is a better episode. This is probably gonna be our highest rated episode because Brian wasn't on it.
Yeah, it's gonna pop off front page.
It's probably gonna be our most views ever on a live stream.
Brian's gonna be so sad if that happens, man.
Brian,
so sad. He's not coming back if that happens.
Everybody just come out and just keep refreshing the page so the views just tally up. But anyways, thank you all for coming, and go Birds.
Go Birds.